the great part of all this country is, as polar opposites as people try to make, say, you and I, here we are together as equals. Here we are together engaging one another as equals, and we don't look like one another. We're not from the same places. And I think there's just a whole bunch of opportunity in that. I think that there's money to be made in promoting that versus promoting division and fear. And so absolutely, there is money in helping children be better. Yeah. There is, and if we're going to live in a capitalist system, be a compassionate capitalist and be the best you possibly can, because we need more of you.
But just seems like in terms of something that we think about as a civilization, we don't think about neighborhood rebuilding.
No,
it's not a primary concern. Even though one of the biggest problems we have is with crime and violence. If you ask people, what's the two biggest things you're afraid of? It's crime and violence. Next would be car accidents and cancer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But crime and violence, you could severely mitigate.
Yeah.
If you had all these community programs, if you think about the amount of, I bet if they calculated out, probably a wash. The amount of money you'd spend to fix things versus the amount of money you would save by not having as much crime.
I agree. Roxanne Shante, I saw her.
Again, I don't know shit, so I'm just guessing.
Anything is better than just building more prisons than what we're doing.
Yeah, well, that's the scariest shit we got going on. The idea that someone's profiting off of putting people in cages and that they also lobby to make sure that there's more laws in the books.
I told Larry King earlier today that I'd rather stop arguing over the Second Amendment with people that I should be arguing for an amendment of the 13th Amendment with. We should stop arguing over guns. And we should start to say, why does our 13th Amendment have a loophole that allows for slavery? That says slavery is illegal except for
prison. People have no idea how much prisoners get paid to work. When they were working on the fires, what was how they were? I think it was
$2 or something.
Some fucking insane amount of money they pay them.
And when they get out of prison, they are not allowed to be firemen.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Is that real?
Yeah, it's real. Because you're a felon.
For every crime?
I'm not saying for everyone, but I
any
know,
felony you can't be a fireman?
I can't say any, but a lot of the guys I've known that have gotten out of prison have not been allowed to apply for the fire department.
Right? There's felonies where
non-violent felonies, drug selling.
California is paying inmates $1 an hour. Wow. Holy shit! Not even $2.
Your life is worth 99 pennies plus one.
Just stop and think about fighting fires for 10 hours. You make $10. Yeah. That's insane.
Absolutely.
But not only is that slavery, that might be worse than slavery because $10 an hour isn't even going to buy you food.
That's less than Walmart pays now.
It's less money to work all day than you could feed yourself.
Yeah.
There's no way.
This is the white guy saying this. That's what I try to tell people. People talk shit when I was coming on here. Yeah, that's all right. I was like, yo, man, the guy's an ally. I appreciate you saying that because that's true. And it's not just black guys. It is poor white people. I almost wish I could have a convention with to say, we got the same masters.
They're saying this right here. More than 2,000 volunteer inmate firefighters, they volunteered, including 58 youth offenders, are battling wildfire flames through California. Inmate firefighters serve a vital role clearing thick brush down to bare soil to stop the fire spread. I wonder, do they get better service for that? Do they get out earlier?
Nope.
They don't.
I don't think so.
Nothing.
I don't think so. I would hope they do, but if we're paying them $1 an hour, what do we care? But we are the public should be up in arms about that.
Yeah, well, they're obviously trusting those guys to not run too, because when you're chopping down bushes out there when there's a fire going on,
but where are you going to go?
Where are you going to go? Nobody knows what the fuck is happening. It's chaos.
So where are you going to go?
Where are you going to go?
Where are you going to go?
Yeah.
And then when they get you, shit.
$1 an hour. Just how insane is that?
You know something else we do in our prisons that's cruel and brutal? We put people in a box for 23 hours a day.
Yeah.
Allow them out for an hour to walk into space.
Yeah. You're driving them crazy.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're fucking with their senses to the point where they're going crazy.
Absolutely.
Or they get solitary. I have friends that have been in solitary. They talk to you about solitary, and they're just there for themselves.
With your own mind.
Day after day after day.
Yeah. I remember going to in-school suspension, not being able to talk, about to go fucking nuts after 3 hours. You know? So imagine being in Georgia State Corrections.
Exactly. When you're a little kid, you can't shut the fuck up.
For anything. Coach Dollar used to tell, he used to be on us like, shut the fuck. Cameron Dollar, who won 1995 UCLA, he played point guard for them when they won the national championship. His dad was the coach at our high school. His dad was the basketball coach, and he saw after in school. And I stayed in school. Oh man, I knew his dad like a fucking player. I couldn't play any basketball. I'd just be sitting there quiet. He'd be reading the paper, just like, I can't wait to get the fuck out of here, man. Coach Dollar don't let us say shit. That's how I knew I didn't want to go to prison. Thank you, Coach Dollar. Shouts out to Cam.
Not talking to anybody for just a couple of days would be enough to drive you crazy. Now imagine some people that have been locked in the hole for like 8 months. Yeah. They do that to people.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, isn't that what they did to Chelsea Manning?
Yeah, didn't they?
Yes. That's exactly what they did, I think. I forgot what her original name was.
As do I.
I forgot. No, it's not. Get out of here with
You
that.
might,
It's
you
Chelsea.
might, you might get
It's always been
played.
Chelsea.
I was gonna say you might. I
Son
want
of
to
a
say the OG
bitch, piece
name.
of shit. It's always been Chelsea. But yeah, she. I think they locked her in the hole for like 10 months.
Damn.
Yeah, no talking, nobody, just by yourself. Fuck you, by yourself.
That's crazy.
I mean, you could break someone's brain.
Easy.
Easy. I heard of people's brain get broken on a good edible.
I watched
edible.
First 48. I see motherfuckers' brain get broken 15 minutes of cigarettes and a honey bun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's another reason I tell kids don't commit crime with your homies, man. Watch First 48. You're going to see everything go bad, man, for a Newport.
Yeah. Just so many fucking crimes, so many laws that don't need to exist.
Poverty, we end poverty, we fix crime.
We fix a fuckload of it, that's for sure. There'll still be sociopaths and greedy people.
You're going to have that, but far less than crimes of opportunity like robbing moms of their purses at gas stations, carjackings. You're not going to see stolen cars. You're not going to see burglaries. You're not going to see that if you start to have an influx of, we need to bring a lot of stuff back to America. We need to start making shit again. We need to start buying shit we make again. We need to, we need to start refocusing on what we could be doing in-house, I think.
I think that would certainly help us. And I don't know what we could do to just sort of promote that idea of, why doesn't it, it's nothing that ever gets discussed in any political discussion. Like whenever there's some debates going on or whenever there's
because we're being given an agenda.
Yeah, but nobody ever thinks of that one aspect of our culture, the weakest aspect of our culture economically. We don't really consider it. Yeah. You just look at it as a source of crime. It's a statistic.
Yeah. We look at it as though it's something that just is, like it has to be.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be like that.
Well, especially if we know history.
Yeah, and the television show, that's all I'm really trying to say. Like, there are other alternatives. There are other ways to try this. And we could. You can try to fix homelessness without criminalizing being homeless, right? We know that most men that are homeless have some types of mental illness or schizophrenia. So that means that we've broken down and we're not taking care of the mentally ill in a way that we should be or could be. So if you start to fix that, you start to fix that kind of homelessness. We know that women and children, we know why they're on the street. And we know that if they're subsidized into these type of affordable housing apartments in the city, the kids have the opportunity to go to better schools, to become better parts of society in terms of having the networks and resources. We know the mothers are closer to work, can be home, but we don't do that. We build cities like right now we're developing Atlanta, and we've been promised a certain amount of workspace in the city for working class people, for poor people. Some of the developers aren't doing what they say they do. And because you do that, you start to increase the things that are blights on us. We just have to be really committed to it and do it. That's it. And once we do it, it's done. But if we keep acting like it's not happening and complaining about poverty and crime and war and not doing anything, it's just the cycle never stops. And that's the insanity I really don't understand.